Hello, in this video we'll focus on finding reviews of non-commercial tests, such as measures developed for a particular study. For more information about commercial tests, please watch the Mental Measurements Yearbook video. Contrary to the Mental Measurements Yearbook, the database PsycTESTS focuses on non-commercial tests. Since there are no fee restrictions, it is sometimes possible to find the full text of a measure in the database. You also might find information about norms, usage, and reviews. However, the reviews are typically quite brief, not the multi-paragraph reviews found in Mental Measurements Yearbook. To find PsycTESTS, you can click Databases from the main library page. Click P on the alphabet list. Now click the PsycTESTS link. What do you notice about the way this database looks? Again, just like with Mental Measurements Yearbook, you'll probably notice it looks very similar to PsycInfo. That's because Adler subscribes to both databases through the provider called Ovid. However, again, you'll notice that the title of the database is listed here. Just like in PsycInfo, we can search by keyword or title. Often when you're looking for non-commercial tests, you might just be browsing based on topic rather than knowing the title of the specific test. So let's look for measures about grief. Simply type grief into the search box and click search. Just like in PsycInfo, we can go through a thesaurus to use a subject heading for grief. We talked about subject headings earlier in your program. What's the difference between subject headings and keywords? A keyword is a word that must appear as that specific word somewhere in the title or abstract, or sometimes the body of the document. That means that if you were doing research on the effects of lead in drinking water, you might use the keyword lead, but this might also bring up articles about lead suspects. So words that are spelled the same but have different meanings may confuse your searches if you use keywords. In contrast, subject headings are created by people and arrange articles based on topic. They are organized within a thesaurus, which allows you to find articles based on related topics. Back in PsycTESTS, we're able to click the link for grief to find related subject headings. Here we have the thesaurus. Everything in green is related to the term grief. We can select any or all of the terms which we think are relevant. Sometimes it's hard to decide what will be best for your research. I highly recommend that you make a reference appointment with me where we can sit down and go through your research together, which will help you navigate keywords and subject headings more adeptly. For now, I'm just going to take the subject heading grief and click continue. Now we can scroll down and start seeing our results. However, PsycTESTS is a bit more complicated than other databases. For each measure, there might be multiple record entries about the same measure. For example, the first measure we see is Acceptance of Disease and Impairments Questionnaire. Note that it lists the record type as Test Development. All measures in PsycTESTS have a master record. This will include a short test description. The master record for a measure may connect to up to 3 child records: test development, test use, and test review. Strangely, the only way to see all the records that connect to a given measure is through the master record. Also, please note, the only place that you can actually find full text, if the full text exists in PsycTESTS, is through the master record. Some measures may only have the master test record and test development, or how the test was created, while others might have a record for each type. If you're looking for how the test was normed, you might want to check all the record types, although it's most likely to have that information under the review type. Back in PsycTESTS, we have found this measure, whose record type is test development. If we want to find the master record, we need to click on the title of the measure. Now you see the link to the master record. We can click this link, and now you find the master record. As you might remember from PsycInfo, please do not use your back button on your browser. This will tell the browser to go back, not the database, and so it'll clear your searches and start you all over again, which is very frustrating if you have some good searches. If you get lost in navigating between different record types while in PsycTESTS, you can always just click the Search tab at the top, which will show you all your searches. Now you might be wondering how to find the full text of a measure. Remember, which is the only record type where we might be able to find the full text. Remember, if the PDF is available, it will only be in the test master. But notice that there is no full text listed here. You would think we could click this link to check for full text. But as you see with this example, there is no other database which can provide the full text of measures. Therefore, if you do not remember anything else from this video, please remember, do not request measures via ILLiad. We will not request measures from other libraries. If you click the Check for Full Text link, you'll be searching for whether Adler has access to the article in which the measure was published. In the case of the Acceptance of Disease and Impairments questionnaire, the source citation is in the International Journal of Behavioral Medicine. The article title is Assessing the Stages of the Grieving Process in Chronic Obstructive Pulmonary Disease. So if you were to request something through ILLiad, you would be trying to request the article, not the measure. Unfortunately, ILLiad will try to use the questionnaire name as the article title, which results in a lot of confusion, since of course there are no articles by the title of a particular measure. If you do want to find full text of a measure, please watch the video about finding full texts of measures. And again, if you have questions about any of these videos or any other library-related questions, feel free to email us or me directly at fbrady@adler.edu or schedule an appointment directly with me. Now watch the next video, PsycInfo Reviews of Measures.